Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Spotlight. Thank you for joining us this evening on a Friday evening. You could be out there doing something else, but you are here to get the news. We are here with our co-host, and we're going to be talking about the upcoming election, rental housing assistance, and of course, tomorrow, the 2021 Gullah Geechee Environmental Energy Virtual Conference. We'll see you in a moment right after this.
Heavenly Father, we ask you to put a hand of protection.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to Spotlight, brought to you by the Georgetown NAACP branch number 5520. Let me go ahead and bring on my co-host, President Mr. Marvin Neal. Marvin, how are you?
NAACP strong.
All right. You, Black Power, Black Panther. Ebony, how are you? Ebony Hughes. Thank you for joining me on a Friday night. Ebony Hughes is with us. She's our education chair and third vice president of the Georgetown branch. Y'all, why are we here tonight? Because tomorrow we got a big event that we're going to talk about later on in the show. And we encourage you to register for that event, and that's why we're not having Spotlight tomorrow morning. We're having Spotlight tonight to encourage you to, one, to vote upcoming local elections, to updating you on rental housing assistance. That has been going strong, and Marvin's going to give us an update. And of course, tomorrow, the 2021 Gala Geechee Environmental and Energy Virtual Conference. We want everybody to come on and get some knowledge. Yes. But let's start with the first piece of knowledge, our rental housing assistance. Marvin, what's going on with that?
Man, there's a lot going with housing assistant, Maryland. Tell you the truth, I'm excited. You know, we've been doing a lot of homes. We're right at about 90 so far.
Wow.
We've helped. And I think we was the first one kicked off in the state of South Carolina. So Georgetown branch, you know.
I'm proud of us.
Kicking it off, kicking it off. It's rolling too. And we have a great team. You know, NAACP always have a great team anyhow and stuff.
Yeah.
Just popping in and popping out. We training folks on the spot in some areas and stuff, because as we move it, the need grows. So what it's about and stuff is the 55th South Carolina State Energy Rental Assistance Program. What it does, it's a program that helped people during the time of COVID, because of the shortfalls that they have had with rental and losing their jobs and, jobs cutting back on hours and stuff of that nature. So what we have done, we have decided to, South Carolina State, we partnered with this agency and stuff to get out to the different communities, because there's so much money there. I think it's right at 2 billion that the federal government put into play, and they decided to let the NAACP go ahead and handle it. In the South Carolina area, because we have a good vehicle to get stuff out, which was a great credit and stuff to our great president, President Murphy, and good teams that we have at the local level here, like yourself and Ebony and the branches here in Georgetown and the surrounding area. But today we were at Choppy, and we didn't expect a lot to turn out. We expected maybe 5 people. We got up to right at, I think, 17 today, and some that we could not assist because they don't have the proper paperwork. But they're coming back on Monday in Georgetown again at the Housing Authority, and then again on the 30th. But we also have it tomorrow in Andrews. We're gonna be there from 10 until 3 o'clock until we get through and stuff. Whoever's there at 3, we just go working on through. But what it does. The assistance available for households which one or more individuals meet the following criteria, which is they have to be qualified for unemployment or has experienced reduction in household income. incurred due to significant costs or experiencing a financial hardship due to COVID-19. That don't mean you have to have COVID. That means just the period that we went through. So we don't want to get that confused. You don't have to have COVID to get assistance. All you have to do is have a back rent, overdue rent, overdue light bill, overdue water bill, that type of stuff, moving costs. We even help out with people that's been displaced. Hotel fees that they're staying in right now, we could encompass that into the cost also. So it's pretty much everything that you could think of that caused the hardship during COVID. We could help with and stuff when it comes down to a rental. We're not dealing with mortgage, just rental assistance, light bill, water bill, electrical bill, moving costs, storage fees, hotel fees, but it has to be overdue. It can't be coming up, have to be past due bills. So it's a great thing. And some of the things that they need a picture ID, driver's license, passport, or even a foreign passport is just as good. Signed copy of the lease. They need a rental agreement statement signed by the person that they're renting from, saying these are the hardship and things that they have created that cause them a hardship or that cause them to get behind on. So, and a copy of their tax return, federal tax return. So just come with those items. We'll get you enrolled and loaded up, and we'll be in Andrews tomorrow from 10 to 3 o'clock. But it's a great program. People are really excited. They're coming in. We're knocking them out. And it's getting better every time. So
yes. So what time is can people go to Andrews Recreational Center?
They could be at Andrews Recreational Center at 10 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. And we'll be there until 3 o'clock. So we got some other folks from Andrews, the NAACP branch there, Jerome Johnson. They're sending some folks to assist also. So we just gonna have a good time, but it's just what we do, step in and fill a gap. Really enjoying it though.
Very good.
All right. Great.
I post if any of our viewers, if you have any questions about the rental housing assistance, now's the time to drop them in our comment section. We're here to talk about it tonight and answer any questions that we can't answer. If we can't, we're just gonna tell you we can't. Then we'll go get the answer for somebody who knows. All right, very good. And y'all, we got a very important election coming up. Speaking of housing, we have a very important election coming up in the city of Georgetown, and the results of this election will impact housing. If we're going to speak about housing, gentrification, affordable housing. So it's important that people vote. And right now, absentee ballot in person, also known in other states as early voting, is open. And y'all could go down now, Monday through Friday through November 1st, and vote at 303 North Hazard Street, which is the local election commission. And go vote. I went and did it, and it took me 5 minutes. And I mean, when I say 5 minutes, that was signing in, walking into the room, getting the ballot, sticking it in the machine, selecting, confirming what I selected, submitting, and heading on out. Actually printing. It doesn't say submit. It says print because you print the ballot, then you scan it into the last machine. 5 minutes, y'all, and it will make a huge difference in the direction of the city of Georgetown, and we need to be involved. And I'm just going to be honest, and we know there's some folks out there who are disappointed and hurt, but the bigger picture is we don't want to be left off the table, left out of the room of where the direction of this city is going. And that means that, quite frankly, we all have to get over ourselves. I got over myself. And go vote for the ticket that will work for all of the community. And any thoughts, Ebony or Marvin, on that? The importance of voting.
Well, Mr. Neal, I'm gonna let Mr. Neal go because I tell you what, he probably
there's such a great need. This election, it's almost like the general election in Georgetown again, because and it has so much. The general election, the election wasn't this messy actually, with all the different stuff coming out. But one thing people have to realize that even a diamond, it starts off rough, but we have to push through the process. So like they say, vote like your life depends on it, because it does.
Yes.
Believe me, the majority and marginalized community and those that's been disenfranchised, they need to vote like their life depends on it. Because if you get in this election and you don't have affordable housing coming into Georgetown, and you have housing $200,000 plus coming into your area, that do not fit the character of the whole Georgetown. That fit the character of one half of Georgetown. So from that angle, you should be able to figure out how you can go. We have to stay nonpartisan, but you have to speak on both party lines there. One is for gentrification, one is not. Gentrification means they're going to run you off of your property and your land if you vote a certain way. So you better vote the other way. You better vote for what's going to take care of you, who understands you, your conditions, and get over yourself, because nothing is pretty all the time. And this last 4 years, election with the city council, 2 years of that were actually under COVID. So you have to really look at that when people say, well, I haven't seen anything happen. A lot happened. COVID happened, and a lot didn't happen in our favor. So you really have to give those an opportunity to make some things happen for you.
That's right.
Like your life depend on it. You need stewards.
And we have to do more than just vote. We have to be engaged citizens and hold our elected officials accountable. So we need to take responsibility too, that we need to be more engaged. Ebony, you were going to say something?
Yeah, people are really quick to run to presidential elections, but when it comes down to local elections, what happens in local elections and the people that we put in place, they affect what happens with us on a more intimate level. It affects our infrastructure, our roads, things that we see on a normal everyday basis. Now, as the NAACP, we are nonpartisan. However, we're going to tell you to make sure you do your investigation and vote for those individuals that have your best, that have you in mind. Because I will tell you this, there are a lot of people that are running that only care about themselves, and they are capitalists. So they care about getting in place to, like you said, take over. Now, here's what I will say. If you need a ride, call us, message us, go on our Facebook page. We have a message button. We will send somebody out there to pick you up and take you to the poll if that's what you need. If it's education is what you need, we'll help educate you. But show up and vote. And if you're going to go vote, make sure you call your friend up. We can call our friends up about anything else. Call them up and make sure that they actually get out there to vote also. Don't wait. Go ahead and do it now.
One thing I do want to say, we are nonpartisan, but also be aware, folks, that this is a nasty campaign that's been happening in Georgetown. And one of the direct mail pieces cited someone as being a member of the NAACP executive board. And that is simply not true. And the person who that mailer represented was, that's actually further proof of how you can't trust where people are coming from. And I just wanted to point that out, that, people will misconstrue stuff for the wrong reasons. When you misconstrue, you're always doing it for the wrong reasons. So I think we need to look at what people do in these direct mail pieces that are very misleading. And they're about tearing the community apart and not bringing community together. I don't care what they say. And we need to be very aware of stuff like that. Marvin's concentrating real hard. What you got to say, Marv?
Well, one thing I'll say about that, I'm gonna leave it alone. When anything goes out with the NAACP name on it, from any chapter or anywhere, state or national, if the president's name is not on it, it's not in void. It don't exist. Ignore it. I could say that. If you don't see my name on a piece of literature in Georgetown, it don't exist. Okay? It's falsification. and I could say that much, and I'm going to leave that alone. But it tells you the level of where this election have went when you start seeing the name of the NAACP on literature for siding with a party or an individual. That just don't exist. That is just a flat out lie, and I'm gonna leave it like that. Because it really pissed me off when I saw it, but it's all right because that's the level of where this election have went. I don't know. I know who sent it out, because the stamp's on it where it came from, the mailing. Who's on it? I don't know how that happened. Whoever needs to figure it out will figure that out. It won't be Marvin Neal at the Georgetown branch level. So let legal does what legal does. Let the system take care of itself. Georgetown branch NAACP, we are focused on helping people and not helping candidates. That's not our issue. We had to get the black vote out, and I could say that. We had to get the community that was disenfranchised out. We had to push for affordable housing for those that's in need. That's what we are pushing for. So whoever's going to support those needs, that's who you need to get behind. And I could say that. We are here to get the black vote out, get people out voting. I don't tell you to vote Republican or Democrat, but I'm telling you one thing. We're going to get those marginalized community out because black votes matters. The bottom line, it matters. Your vote count, and it means everything. Every black vote need to come out in this election and all elections. Do not sit at home and not vote and talk about it on the 3rd of November, what you should have done, what you wish you have done. Get out on the ground and make it happen because it's your community.
So I want to say this right here, Mr. Neal. So for those of us that do not live in the city limits, so only the people that live within the city limits can vote.
Correct.
But if you are outside of the city limits and you cannot vote, that doesn't mean that you don't have a place to participate. You can still help get people to the poll. You can still call up friends and family and email and text and all these different things to make sure that they get out and vote. Make sure that, okay?
A lot of lives been lost behind voters' rights. John Lewis, he went to his deathbed still pushing for voters' rights. So don't sit at home thinking that your vote don't matter and don't count. What we are dealing with right now, the CARES Act, came from voting rights. That would not even exist. South Carolina State Housing Assistance right now would not exist. Did not for voting rights. This came because you voted in a president that saw the need for the community that's suffering to have not only a voice, but try to get them back up on their feet because of COVID. We have to look, we can't look past what's happening. Poverty is by design.
It sure is.
So you have to be very careful who you put in those positions because they will povertize your community and you will suffer. So be careful. Get over yourself. Get over your nasty and whatever ways you got. Pray on that thing and get up and do the right thing.
That's
if you're
right.
not going to vote for yourself, vote for somebody else to move forward. If you
Like
feel
for
as
the
though you're
future.
that
That's
big,
right.
if we're that big and you got it made, vote for someone else that don't.
But
let's put it like that.
What what I have seen when I look at the candidates for this election, for one, but in general, I see that, we can talk about Democrats, Republican, whatever, those that are in between. It looks like there's a difference in who's humanitarian versus those who are capitalists. And it's like we got capitalists running and we got humanitarians running. Look at that person's platform to see where they stand. If they're about being a capitalist, that means they're about self-gain. Because when you're in office, you are a public servant. Let me say it again. You are a public servant, and it should not be in any way for self-gain. And you have some folks on the other side running to capitalize and gentrify. And you have another set of folks on the other side that are wanting to be humanitarian. So with that said, don't vote for people that thought that the insurrection was all right.
That's true.
I haven't forgot about the insurrection.
I haven't either. Because they don't believe in democracy. And if you're openly with that party that supported an insurrection, you know exactly what you're doing.
If you think the insurrection was a everyday walk at the Capitol, Maryland, when we went there back in 2018,
something like that, yeah.
We didn't go through the windows. We went through the door, and we went through the metal detector.
That's right. I sure wasn't poking. I wasn't beating people with the flag.
We didn't beat people with no flags.
Nope.
Climbing up we weren't doing that stuff. So it's not an everyday walk at the Capitol. That was designed to stop democracy.
Mm-hmm.
And the process.
And he's still trying to do it.
Still.
So let's look at things in a clear eye here. The insurrection was about sending Black people back to slavery and making America what it used to be. Not great, but what it used to be. Let's make sure that America is more brown now than any other color. Okay? So let's stay there. Let's move forward, because that's not going to stop.
So it's not only the insurrection, okay? It's the insurrection. I'm talking about the folks that support the insurrection. It's about the insurrection. It's about women's rights. Women don't have a right to decide what happened with their own bodies. And guess what? It's about the environment. You had people right here in this area trying to drill for oil for their own gain, for capitalist purposes, and they don't care about the environment. It harms it. And only thing they care about is themselves and how much money they can make. In Maryland, I know you have some information for us about the environment too.
I'm glad you laid into that, Ebony, because I really think we're going to be only about 2 hours tonight if you didn't cut it off some.
We might need to do Friday nights again. Friday night fights.
I got a lot of stuff I want to get off my chest before I go to bed. I want to sleep good tonight.
Friday night fights, but I got to do it with a little groove. Friday nights I used to go out, but I don't do that anymore. I used to be like, now it's like,
let's get out and do this.
Yeah. But we got. Yeah, we do. We got a big event coming up tomorrow morning. So thank you, Ebony. But before we go into that, $4.3 million coming to the city of Georgetown because of the American Rescue Plan. You want to make sure your voice is at the table. That's why you need to get out. Another reason why you need to get out and vote, folks. We've got to have the voice at the table. Because if you're not at the table, they're gonna be, what is it? If you're not at the table, you're going to be the meal at the table. And we don't want that. We've come too far to have that.
Y'all, you're serving the table.
There you go. And I don't like serving the table. So tomorrow, y'all, is the 2021 Gala Gichi Environmental and Energy Conference. You can register online. I'm going to put the registration in the comments. It starts 9 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. It is all virtual. So if you are here tonight, you can also be on that conference tomorrow. It is environmental and energy. We are going to have some great speakers about climate change and how our community, we're generating solutions to problems we are facing, like flooding. We have communities up and down the coast that are being flooded out even as we speak, but they're coming up with community-based solutions. We have environmental organizations that will be speaking, also giving us education about energy justice, jobs and careers in the energy field. Their internships, the Sustainability Institute is going to be talking about internships, AmeriCorps for our young folks, 17 to 24. The American Association of Blacks in Energy are going to be talking about careers in the energy field, especially green renewable energy, the environmental impact on our communities, climate change. And I want to thank the Climate Reality Project for awarding us a grant and making this happen. And this is a jump start for all of our program. Gullah Geechee Gullah Geechee Environmental and Energy Conversations. We just had this past Wednesday the Sustainability Institute on talking about their programs. They are really in the community, folks, doing stuff, creating jobs and opportunity. Who else? Conservation Voters, SODA, Stop Offshore Drilling in the Atlantic, the Business Alliance to protect
Sierra
the
Club.
Atlantic coast, Sierra Club, a whole bunch of individuals and groups out here who are in the community doing the work. Jermaine Yulin with the African American Farmers Association is going to be on to talk about hemp, indigo, economic and environmental justice. So a great lineup. Our keynote speaker, and let me throw that up, folks, will be Harold Mitchell. He is founder of Regenesis, an environmental group out of Greenville, South Carolina. He is also a member of the White House Environmental Justice and Advisory Council. He's going to be coming in with the keynote address for lunch. And if the first 100 registrants who attend, now you got to show up, not just register, but you got to attend, folks. We're going to give $25 gift cards.
I'm in. I'm in.
I'm coming for sure.
And you can use them for gas, support a local business, because we are the Gullah Geechee Chamber, so we about local small businesses, support those businesses, and it's just going to be a very informational time. And we were going to do it in person, but because of COVID, we went all virtual. And the reason I mentioned the in-person part of it, the grant, I'm very deliberate and intentional in lowering barriers to knowledge. And we were going to provide free babysitting services, complimentary lunch, and of course the gift cards. But now, because we are doing it all virtual, instead of 50 people getting the gift cards, it's going to be 100 people getting the gift cards.
Yay.
But you got to register, folks. The first 100 to register and attend, and not for 3 minutes. We need you there for a couple of hours, the whole time. It's going to be good and informational, entertaining, and everything. And I want to point out which one is that, Marvin? 5 years to Flint. Yeah, the water issues. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm going to throw this up. One of our panels is Water is Life, and that's going to feature Zenobia Harper with the Gullah Preservation Society, Mayor Frank McCleary of Andrews, and Janae Davis of American Rivers is going to moderate. And they're going to talk about water and how important it is because of the environment, the economy. We talk about the city elections. This is another reason why city elections are so important. Water. You look at Flint, but not even Flint. Denmark, South Carolina, they got to use bottled water and paying $300-something in water bills a month.
Let's get a little closer. Let's go right to Sampit that just got water.
Thank you. Sampit,
okay.
Yeah.
What, a year, 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Walked into the county's meeting, with socks and stuff, filtering out of the ground pumped water. And remember, during the last storm, myself and Mayor McCleary, we went to Charleston, the last hurricane, and met with Martin Luther King III and the mayor of Flint, Michigan. It's a national movement that he's initiating now. Martin Luther King III, in reference to clean water and energy and the things that we are doing and pushing forward for that. So it's necessary that we really get behind this energy and environmental conservation. And we really need to get deep involved with that, especially climate change. I saw with President Obama, and those are going back overseas now to talk about the Paris Climate Agreement. Just within the next month, I think that they just came up today. But Flint, Michigan, when I saw that today, I started thinking about the environmental conference. That's huge.
It is.
5 years later, they're still fighting.
Still.
Lead pipes and all this other stuff. Same thing Mayor McCleary is still dealing with in Andrews, which he's working hard in Andrews, and he's pushing forward, because he finally got some money out of the capital project sales tax, and they're just working hard and stuff, in the community there, doing a great job. I tell you, That man is doing a great job. Mayor McCleary is doing a great job. Not because, we military, because we just move forward. We push hard. We fight hard, baby. But he's a solid man, For him to even be a full bird colonel, retiring from the military, that is huge. He is one of the few.
Mm-hmm.
One of the few.
That's right, Marvin. That's actually one of the reasons I'm having him on a panel. But go ahead, Ebony. You were going to say something.
Yeah, I mean,
one more thing. His wife is going to be our Veterans Day speaker. Denise McCleary.
Yeah, that is November 13th.
Spotlight. Denise McCleary
remember.
for Spotlight. Hey, huge. That's mountaintop.
Very good. Looking forward to it. Ebony, go ahead.
I was just wanting to say something just about the socioeconomic status of folks and how it's so important about learning about what we need to do on a policy level to protect those who are poor. It affects poor people, Black people, brown people, our Native Americans even. Now they're having to buy back land that was stolen from them. Land that was stolen from them. And I actually watched something on ETV. I just love ETV, PBS, NPR, all of those. They give so much information about what's going on in South Carolina. And it was talking about Flint, Michigan yesterday. And it was saying that 5 years later, because of the lead in the pipes, all the health issues that it has caused, and they don't know to the extent of what the damage is. They're testing these children in school, wondering, okay, why aren't test grades higher? But you know what lead does to the brain, especially a child's brain who's still growing and learning. That has caused permanent damage, and it shows up. Never leave. So they have damaged these folks for life, and we definitely need to be behind policy so that this thing here doesn't happen, to where they're putting these industries, again, we're back to capitalists, and not putting humanitarians in service seats, because they want to make money at the price of people who cannot afford to be elsewhere.
That's right.
In Conway. It's happening right in Conway now. Right in Conway. Trying to push roads right through Black community and gas lines right through Black communities. It's always Black community.
Yeah. And we will have
Black community. It happened right there in Bucksville.
Yeah. Cedric Blaine Spain's going to be on tomorrow talking about that on behalf of the Sandridge community, because you and I both know he's been fighting this. He's been in the fight. And, I know that people are here, and some of us are just trying to survive, 2 or 3 jobs, just trying to make sure the bills are paid and the house is over your head. But this is why we have events like this, so that you can get knowledge any way necessary. And next year, hopefully, with where COVID is going, we'll have it in person and virtually, so even more people can see it. But right now, y'all go ahead and register. The register is crawling at the bottom, but as Ebony and Marvin has said, these decision makers are at the table and not keeping in mind the least of these. And if my brother and sister who are suffering are not taken care of, I can't be taken care of either. It's repeat, y'all. Don't think somebody on the other side of the city or the road may not be doing well and it doesn't impact you. This impacts all of us. Water doesn't know boundaries.
And Maryland, speaking of Sandwich community, if you look at, I guess we're gonna segue into redistricting at some point. But if you look at what's going on over there, it's like no representation. We're on Zoom call consistently with the NYU and bringing in attorneys and stuff like that, trying to help out that community. Cedric, at least once a week, with the NAACP, South Carolina Conference, the ACLU, they're all tying in now and stuff. They're getting a lot of support over there. But when it's time to march, and when it's time to put the pressure up and turn the heat up, we got to go over there and help the Sandwich community like we have to shift anywhere else when that time comes. But Cedric is doing a heck of a job over there. I mean, and really pushing hard, and trying to get some support just from his local elected officials. It's a battle over there. They really don't have any representation. We have you only have, God in mercy, they don't have all the representation, don't support their cause pretty much.
I know. And that came up today. I was having another conversation and I was like, I know who you're talking about.
Well, it don't look
I'm not
that
gonna
way.
call the name, but y'all
It
need
don't
to pay
look that
attention.
way.
And,
I think the intent is good, but I just don't think the effort is not enough. Let me put it.
I don't even think the intent is good, but that's another conversation because that's where the effort comes from, Marvin.
Well, I'm being lenient, so
you are. What's up with that?
I'm sleepy.
What's up with that? So yeah, we've been on here for a while, y'all. We need to wrap up because I actually do need to go and do some more preparation for tomorrow morning. I did put in the comments registration, but I also want to mention some other things we're doing that's important because the three of us are always out here working. We also know other folks in the community who are advocates. One of the sessions will be about advocate self-care. Dr. Leslie Bessalou from Georgetown will be leading advocate self-care, and that's from 1:30 to 2:30 tomorrow, right after the keynote speech. And we want y'all to come on out, learn about self-care, get some training right after her. There'll be some advocacy training, so you could actually do some self-care and get right back to work.
That's a serious conference, Marilyn. That's a serious conference you have in there.
Yeah. Wow. I got some good people out here who are
and I'm gonna be in Andrews working, but I'm gonna be tuned in now because I'm gonna be right there. I'm gonna have my phone on tuning in on the conference. Then I'm gonna be jumping in and pitch it, and I'm gonna jump back out and do some, watch some people do some work and stuff.
Thank you. Yeah. So Ebony and Marvin, thank you for helping out tomorrow, for volunteering. We got a good team pulling it together. Y'all be patient with us. We're using StreamYard on the main stage, but the whole conference is a new hop-in virtual conference in the cloud that we're using. And we've been practicing and everything and walking it through. But this will be our first event. So I'm a little nervous. So y'all be patient. But it's going to happen. We got some good panelist speakers coming. Really excited about what's going on and everything. Oh, Cedric. Hey, there he is. Good. See, there you go, Cedric. We appreciate each of your support. We appreciate you, Cedric.
And you're the man. You are the three-man.
Yeah. Cedric's going to be with us tomorrow also talking about the work that he's doing. Y'all, this is actually going to be good information. There are people out here doing the work and we can learn from each other. We need to support each other and build that infrastructure. Everything that we've talked about tonight is we can settle a lot of stuff if we all just work together.
Yes, that's it. We got so many supporters. Look at all the folks that are on here. We got Mr. Spain, you have Miss McClary, Mr. Hemingway, president out of Marion, you got Miss Williams, helping people get out there and vote, Miss Rowe, Miss Bryan. Thank you guys. And for the ones I didn't even mention, thank you all for coming on. Your support, you being present, is part of participation because we have to get educated and learn about these things so that we can go out there and do productive activity.
And let me make one correction too, because I don't want to get beat up by, a bunch of women and stuff, because, when I said Denisha McClary is going to be our Veterans Day speaker, I stand correct. That is retired Major JAG officer.
Thank you.
JAG officer.
Thank you.
Officer, tough JAG officer. Okay, she has her own identity, and Mayor McClary has his own also. So they were two just great, and still is significant people that impacts, society as a whole, but just definitely impact minority society and stuff and the work that they do. So I just want to make that clarity because when I see Major McClary again, I don't want to get punched. And
that's right.
Yeah. I see Colonel McClary again, I don't want to get punched.
Don't get
I just want to make sure I'm straight. Because those are my friends, y'all. And I take my friends very serious. Those are my friends. And I say it loud because I'm black and I'm proud. And I said it. I said it. You know what I'm saying? I said it. You know, hey.
Well,
Oh,
very
more
good,
thing.
Marvin.
One more thing. There is a planning commission meeting coming up on the 21st this week. And that pretends, and at one of the things on the agenda in that meeting is 456 homes that's being attempted to be built in the Plantersville area of Georgetown. Okay? They are not affordable housing. They are $200,000+.
See?
Number one. Median income in Plantersville is $24,000 or less. You know, I think I'm sitting around the $15,000 range, but somewhere in there. I can't afford it. People in Plantersville just can't afford that. You know, so I don't see where that would benefit Plantersville. We're not going to stay on that. But we have to speak those things when it comes. Don't sit blind. Don't sit quiet. And don't sit up in a meeting while folks try to buddy you up and tell you, oh, this is great for you, and can't tell you why.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Housing is going to come, but we need a mixture. Affordable.
And listen, we want to make
affordable to bring folks in. Affordable for the folks who live there right now that don't have housing.
right.
Still living with mom. Police officer, firemen. All these folks still living with mom. School teachers living with mom. Looking for affordable housing. $200,000+ a year ain't it.
Right.
So it's time to regroup. Just speaking to the capitalists. Ebony, the capitalists. That's what we're speaking to.
Capitalist.
Gentrification.
Housing.
Gentrification. That's the way it happens.
Yep.
You be the new Hilton Head, the new Beaufort, the new Myrtle Beach. Yep. It's all coming this way because people just was not paying attention. Let's pay attention. Let's do the work.
That's right. That's right. That's very true. I do want to say this. If you register for the conference, they will send you a confirmation letter. Some folks, it's going into their spam folder. While I have here, check your spam because you got to be confirmed. And then, and I can tell who's not. And we've been trying to send out emails using our regular emails. That confirmation letters generated by Hopin, our conference, our virtual conference. So it may be going into your spam. So if you've registered for the conference and you did not get a confirmation letter, check your spam folder and make sure you are confirmed to attend because the first 100 people are going to get a lot of knowledge.
I'm going to check mine while we on the show.
And a gift card too.
Check mine right now.
I know. I saw you. I got you, Marvin. And I got
I'm checking mine. I'm gonna check it again. I'm getting my $25 gas card. You're not. No, I'm checking mine.
Y'all, it's been good. It's getting late. I still got to work and everything. And there you go, Cedric. That's what we're talking about. We must buy back our blocks, streets, roads, communities, etc. We must be the developers and builders of our own communities and stop the looting of them. That is so correct. That is so correct. And it begins with the environment, the water, and the land that provides sustenance to us. We have got to take care of that so it takes care of us. And vote. Get educated, folks. And vote.
Vote. Yep. It all starts with that mighty vote.
Yep.
Vote. Because who you put in there will fail you if you don't pay attention. Transparency, accountability, equity, inclusion. Equity and inclusion. Vote. If you don't,
go vote, folks. And then also register tonight for the Gala Geechee Environmental Energy Virtual Conference. It's our third one. Excited about it. And the Climate Reality Project, which was founded by former Vice President Al Gore, is funding this and other programming moving forward. And I'm just excited about it and looking forward to seeing everybody tomorrow. Enjoy. Have a good night, everybody. Get some sleep. Marvin, I got about another hour of work. And then I'm out. All right.
Stick the finger up. Janet Bicote Graham and Jean DeRay. Mm-hmm. Black Vote Matter, NAACP, nonpartisan. They are fighting for you, everyone. They are dynamic people. I have to say that. Dynamic, always on the ground. Always on the ground. AFL-CIO, on the ground. Gala Gichi on the ground. Club 142 on the ground. Citizens for Progress on the ground. West End Citizen Council on the ground. On the ground. Let's continue to fight. Let's continue to fight. And ethics.
Yeah, you're right, Denisha. Thank you very much. That's a good way to end it. Y'all, we're going to see you later. Thank you, Marvin, for hopping on. Y'all, there will not be Spotlight tomorrow because Spotlight, we're using the conference for Spotlight. So if you're looking for Spotlight, it's not going to be there. That's why you need to register and check out the conference. Thank you, Marvin. It's been cool. It's been good. And we'll talk to you later. Good night. See you later.
Black and I'm proud.
Bye.